Great to see you all here. This is pretty exciting and serious business. I actually have spent a lot of time working with people who have had problems with religion, and it's work that I've been doing for many years, and unfortunately, you can't save them all. So I've had clients that have committed suicide. And so for someone to think that this is not serious business, very serious, probably as serious as it gets in my world anyway. So, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel if you can persist. And so in my practice, I've come up with a lot of tools and techniques that have helped people. And like I said, you can't help them all because sometimes that's the journey that we sign up for. So there's nothing you can do about that. You just got to kind of go with it, you know. So, but if it's your business, like it is mine, then you do the best that you can with what you have. So, when you're coming out of especially a predominantly structured religious organization where they have a lot of control mechanisms, it really messes with your head. We call it brainwashing, but it goes so much deeper than your brain. And we're talking about your heart. You're talking about the thing that makes your heart beat. This is the stuff that God is made out of. And God's not necessarily a bad thing. It's easy to say, oh, well, God screwed up my life. But it really wasn't God. God's loving and kind. And your experience, if it wasn't loving and kind, wasn't God. It was some weird, demented, distressed individual, maybe a religious psychopath, that was manipulating you and exploiting you. So to blame God, it's easy to do that because it was these horrible things were done in the name of God. But it wasn't God. So it's a lot of programming that we go through. And so that's what we're going to do, is talk about something that has to do with something. Where's the on button?
There's a slider on the left side. Is it on?
Yeah.
And it's the down arrow.
Oh, that would be the one. Okay. So programming goes deep, and so to deal with the programming, you have to deprogram, and that's really hard to do because all this programming comes with emotional ties. So it's actually places in your body, in your soul, in your mind, where there are these connections that just seem like they will not go away. Today I'm going to give you some tools and some techniques that you can use so that you'll have the freedom to be able to remove all those connections, disconnect them. There's something that I do in the class that where I like have wires all over my body, and then we disconnect them one at a time. And it's a really good visual demonstration, but that is really like an alligator clip to your head and then to your butt, you know. I mean, so you got to disconnect it in both spots. So if you don't, then you're going to have that residual effect. So we're going to help you do some of that here today. And this is a peaceful and safe environment. So I'm going to close this door. The crazy thing about this is that it's so personal and so deep. Some of the work that we're going to do to move you to a safe place where you can actually start living and thinking for yourself, that I really need everyone's agreement here that we're going to honor each other, and that everything that happens in this room stays in this room, and this is a perfectly safe, sacred environment. you know, I got your back, you got mine, and so there's no fear in here. This is a safe place. And if everybody agrees, otherwise, you don't have your hand raised, we'll escort you from the room. Okay, good. Looks like everyone's on board. Okay, this is me. I'm David M. Masters, lead coach, trainer, and transfiguration specialist at St. Paul's University. You can find out more about me online at davidmmasters.com. And we are looking for instructors. If you would like to join us, you let me know, and we can get something done about that. This is why I do what I do. You can see I've been in the process of procreation. I have 3 of these are my kids that are living, and I have Nathaniel, programmer, Tabitha, actress. Friday the 13th, her latest Friday the 13th movie debuted. So if you like to watch people get murdered, she does get murdered in that one. And this is my daughter JC, and she's an artist, commercial artist, and she also works with the Girl Scouts of America. The rest of my grandkids, and God, you gotta love them. The information I'm sharing with you today comes from the Spiritual Coach Certification course through St. Paul's Free University, so you might want to check that out for more. You're going to get 3 practices today. They're out of about 60. So it's a 12-week course. You might want to think about that. And the first one I'm going to share with you is tap cross therapy, which sounds kind of crazy, but this is good stuff. So what happens is we have all of this trauma, emotional stuff that we hold inside. This is going to release the traumatic emotions that come with those thoughts. So if you don't do this, you go in to go see a therapist, you talk to a therapist about the event, they have this tendency to want to drag you through the mud emotionally. And you don't actually have to do that. By using this method, you can disconnect the emotional connection, and then you can rationalize and talk about the event without getting all messed up emotionally. So get a pen and a paper, and I want you to think about the most traumatic thing you can think about your religious experience that makes you feel the most awful emotion, where you feel the worst about that. Write it down in 1 sentence, and I'll give you like a minute to do that. Maybe 2. Where? Can you bring up the note screen, or how do I do that on that one? Okay, so now that was your first draft. Are we okay? Because I'm going to give you a little more time, I'm going to give you 2 more minutes to rewrite it. I want you to rewrite it the most vile way that you can. Don't make it politically correct. Put in cuss words. Make sure that you have it fully emotionally packed. Because when you read that, I want you to be able to feel all of the emotion that goes with that traumatic event from your past. Oh, you can use bad words. They're encouraged. Mm. Oh boy. Everybody got a sentence down really awful, really horrible. Okay, so I'm actually going to select someone from the audience who wants to share theirs. And before we do that, because this is a safe environment, we're going to put the live stream on hold. We'll be right back. It's going to not take very long. And we'll be back so that I can actually take everyone through the process step by step on how this works. So any of you will be able to do it, even the live stream people, but this is going to be kind of private. So can we do it when we bring the people back? Okay, thank you. Marriage. Okay. Hey. I mean, that's a limiting belief. So are we back? Okay, all right. So we're going to go through the process step by step. Okay, so what you do is, like we did before, we're going to have the client write down in a statement what that represents how they feel at their worst possible moment about that particular item. And then we're going to refine it to include like cuss words or whatever to kind of ramp it up, and then like to make it the worst possible. And then we're going to take them through this process. Now this is like similar to, these are meridian points. We start on the head because that's where everything starts with your emotional programming. So, and you can see that this is similar to the, as Catholics might recognize this, as a sign of the cross. But these are meridians, and it just so happens that's where they're at. So we tap, and we say the sentence, and then you tap and say the sentence, and you tap and say the sentence, and you tap and say the sentence. And that's the first round. And then we go to the body, and these meridian points are, we start at the same place because this is where it resides, and then we tap on the belly, and then the shoulder, and then the other shoulder. And then one round will reduce the emotional level. In our experiment that we just did up here, it only reduced it by 3 points, but usually it's more than that. So if it's only 3 points, then you can do the process again. It will go down even more. So it'll go down 3 points every time. You can get that down to a 0. When you get it down to a 0, when they can say the statement without the emotional attachment, now you can do work. Now they can rationalize about something they could not have rationalized about before because there was all that emotional impact. So that's the beauty of this technique. So before we go to time machine therapy, which is a lot of fun, we're going to do that next. I'd like you to discuss with the person that you're next with how you could use the previous technique, the tap cross therapy, to reprogram your religious beliefs. Go ahead and discuss that. Give you about a minute, maybe 2. Or any, because it could be any question. Anytime now that you feel upset, you can use this technique. And then you can rationally work through the process. how, yeah, how could you use it to reprogram your spiritual beliefs, the ones that you're carrying over from your religion? And unlike, if you've heard about EFT before, unlike EFT, there's very little, like I took, like I can do EFT. I am certified in that, but so you pay a lot of money and you go to a lot of schooling, and you hear all of the science and the practice behind it, and this you don't have anything to learn, right? It's so easy. You don't have to know how it works. Doesn't matter. It just works. You don't have to learn about where the meridians are, because now you know. Okay, we're going to wrap up here pretty quick. Another 30 seconds. Okay, moving right along, wrap that up. We're going to go do some time machine therapy. We can visit more about this after the show, so we'll be around for a minute, but we want to keep moving along here. So we have many guides in our life. They're sort of like influences outside of ourselves that, like, normally you notice it as a child. You have like unseen things happening around you. You recognize them, they recognize you. You can communicate with them, or they can communicate with you, or you can feel their presence. But usually your parents will beat those silly thoughts out of you. Which they do with all the good stuff, by the way. By the time you're 7, you're just a wreck. But today what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of this, time machine therapy, and you're going to go forward and backward along your own timeline. And then after we do this little exercise here, you're going to realize that when you were a child and that person came to you, that's going to be you today visiting with yourself as a child. You are also one of your guides. So with this technique, what's cool about it is as we do it, is that you'll go back in time and you'll meet with yourself. And once you do this, you can do this at any time, right? So you don't have to do it with me. I'm giving you all these tools so you can use them yourself. You can go forward. Your forward self can come to you also. You'll be able to recognize that now after we do this exercise. So when you're feeling like you cannot see your way out of the woods, the future you's already been there and knows it's going to be cool. So we're going to do this little exercise here, and I think we'll put the candles up but keep the voice. And no problem. We got this. Okay. So I want you to close your eyes. Let's see. I'm going to go to the next. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay. Using your imagination, take a deep breath in. Put a big smile on your face. Take another deep breath in. And this time, let it out with an orgasmic. Come on. Let me hear it. I've been waiting for this part. That was exciting. Okay, put your hand on your heart. Take another deep breath in. And this time, when you exhale, repeat after me and say, I love me. Take another deep breath in. And this time, I following love-making exhale. Okay, hand back on your lap. Okay, we're going to take a journey backwards, and then we're going to go forward. So here we go. I want you to go back to when you were very young, 4, 5, or 6 years old. And I want you to look at that child. Look at that baby. Look at him or her in the eyes. Put a big smile on your face. Because you know what he or she is going to become. Look at that child. And say whatever it is you would say to that child, to that baby, regarding your commitment to making sure that he or she becomes amazing. Kind of goes something like this. Hey, you. I'm you from the future. I love you. I absolutely adore you. And I want you to know throughout your whole life, there's going to be some ups and downs and some goods and bads and some ins and outs. But I am always going to be here for you. And it's all going to work out. You're absolutely amazing. Now have that baby look back at you, right in the eyes. And as he or she looks at you, you can see the joy in their face. Remember, it's never too late to have a happy childhood. And that baby looks at you, and you look at the smile on their face. Just reach out with your hand and touch the baby's face. And say the words again. I love you. I absolutely love you. I adore you. Thank you. That baby looks back at you and the baby says, thank you for what's about to become. And all you know right is what you know right now. I mean, because you're a child, you don't really know, but you can look up at you and say, that's going to be me. So now let's go forward, all the way back to now. Right now, look at who you are now. And no matter what you think, you're in the right place at the right time. You're in the greatest country in the world. You made it here today. And you answered the call to be here right now, in this moment. And you're taking the initiative to grow and learn, and you're making a commitment to a better life, your best life, and make the world a better place. And so from this point, let's look into the future. Let's go 5 years into the future and see you in the future. And just as adoringly as you looked at that baby, have that future you look at you right now. And as they're looking at you right now, what are the words they say to you? It might go something like this. Hey, you. I told you. Look at you. I absolutely love you. Thank you. Thank you. Who you are, who you've become, and who you will be. I appreciate you. I love you. And I thank you. And now, as you're looking at that person, think in your mind's eye and here, how would you describe that person? What do you look like 5 years in the future? What does he or she sound like? What are they all about? Allow yourself to feel that feeling. And as you look at that person 5 years from now, what would you say to them? Thank you. You're amazing. Thank you. Thank you. And see that person powerful, strong, free from religious trauma, happy, successful. However you would describe that person. And see that you're fully on the path to achieving your highest and best. What you're seeing is a result of you in the now. This is you, your vision, not mine. That person, as you're standing there, what do you look like? What are you wearing? What do you say? What do you have? What's in your bank account? Who are the people that you've impacted? How proud of them are you? How proud are they? Are you of they? And gently, out loud, say these words. Say your name on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. David. Repeat after me. I appreciate you. I thank you. And I love you. Say it again, but this time, yell out your name. 1, 2, 3. David! I appreciate you. I thank you. And I love you. One more time, loud as you can. David! I appreciate you. I thank you. And I love you. Okay. Open your eyes. Welcome back. Great traveling. Thank you. Thank you. So, that person that you met in the future, that person was cool? No religious trauma? Some of you had. I saw some heads shaking the other way. We have more work to do. I'll see you in my office later. Okay, so I want you to take 2 minutes, discuss that little adventure with your partner and how you can use that to go back into your past, go back or go forward in your future, and use that technique to reprogram your spiritual belief system. I love me. You did it. Really? Oh, you have some deep trauma there. Yeah. Here's just a big blank. Oh, oh yeah. Oh. Oh, you have deep work. That's good. What about you? You were able to go back. That's good. Good. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. That's great. Ah, that's great. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did you speak English when you were very young? Oh, you didn't. That's why. That's perfect. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. Okay, how we doing? All right, we're going to have something else coming up here. Go ahead and help yourself. These are not York peppermint patties.
Yeah.
You don't really, yeah. You can just let the stone pick you. You know. Oh, you're welcome. Don't eat it. Oh, I take it we're back. Okay, good. Opening eyes, we can come back for that. We're going to have another one where we'll go to candles again, too. So, for this exercise, you're going to need a stone, which you have one. And for those of you online who are watching, you can get a stone, something about like that big or something you can hold in your hand easily. And if you don't have a stone, you can use a penny, like a 1-cent piece in U.S. currency or some other. I guess another form of currency would probably work too. But you really want to try to get a stone. We're going to program what it is that you have in your hand now. And we're going to program that to be your personal power stone. And you're like, what? It's like, we don't call it a personal power stone for nothing. So we're going to charge this thing with all kinds of energy and tricks and stuff that you can use. You keep this with you, and you'll be able to tap into that at any time. So we're going to program it today. Together we're going to do that work. So let's see what we got. Okay. Confusing for an old guy, all this technology. There we go. Okay, so everybody has their stone. Clear everything off of your lap. I want you to take it between the palms of your hands, your stone, like this. Put it between the palms of your hands and back and forth and around. We're charging it with your signature energy from you right now. This is you, your signature energy. This is going to work only for you because this is you. Your auric field, your aura, your personal energy, your DNA, it's all programmed for this stone. So when you find yourself like in a vulnerable situation, you'll be able to use this stone. So you'll be able to pull out strength like the you that was never there. I'll tell you how I use my stone. I actually had one of these when I was a kid. I really needed one. So I was, should I get this personal? I'll do this. Okay. My mom was like a gypsy, and so she would leave for months at a time. And I would have to man up and find ways to make money to take care of my brothers. I was the oldest. And I had autism, so I was pretty much useless in society. So I had this lucky stone. And with it, I could, as long as I had it, I could pretend I was anyone. It would help me be whoever I needed to be to do what I needed to do to take care of my family. So, so this little autistic kid played music and performed in nightclubs to make money to take care of his brothers, all because I had one of these. So I hope that you can get that same kind of benefit out of it. You know, obviously you're not autistic, but I'm telling you, anything that will work, right? This is why we put these tools in our toolkit, because we need something to work for us, and this will help. Okay? So now I want you to close your eyes and imagine the energy coming from the universe from way above through the top of your head, like in a golden bright light through your body. Keep massaging your stone and watch that energy go through your body, out through your feet to the center of the earth. See that stream filling your whole body of golden bright light as you're massaging your stone. I want you to send that energy from your heart down one arm, through your stone, and up the other arm. It doesn't matter which direction it goes. It's different for everybody. So whatever direction that flows is right for you. And we're sending that energy from source through your stone. Now that it's all warmed up, I want you to think about the people that you admire, that you could use their skills. My child, just to let you know, it was crazy. So since I'm already being brutally honest, I'll just keep going. I was Donny Osmond when I was on stage. So occasionally David Cassidy. So if it wasn't for them, my brothers would have starved to death. So, and who knows what? I mean, we didn't have the resources back then that we have now. So, but thanks to those two individuals being programmed into my stone, I was able to use their attributes and call on them whenever I needed to, especially when I was performing. So whatever makes you feel good, if like holding a baby in your arms and looking into its eyes makes you feel good, send that energy through your stone, program it in there. You can think of anything like that. For me, family reunions aren't good for everybody, but they are for me. I absolutely love my family, so that's one of the energies I would send through there. Think about all of the things that would make you happy that you don't have right now, like if you wanted a new Hummer, then send that through there. See yourself driving whatever kind of car that you want and parking it into your garage of your new house. And how good you feel about that. Send that through there. If you appreciate someone like Martin Luther King, then you can send him and his energy through there. So whatever the people are that you admire, like Steve Jobs, John Lennon, Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla, Oprah, Shakespeare, Mother Teresa, Gandhi, Dalai Lama, Buddha, Jesus Christ, Madonna, Marilyn Monroe, John F. Kennedy, Abraham Lincoln, whoever. Who?
Jane Austen.
Jane Austen? Okay. So now we're about done. So now we can kind of shut down the golden bright light now. Calm down. Come back into the room. And now you have it all perfectly programmed for you. It's a perfect size. You can keep it in your pocket. And whenever you need it, you have access to it. So we're all back in the room. Take 2 minutes, discuss that with your partner, how you can use that new tool that you have in your toolkit. Oh, it's a happy tear. Yeah, I love those. They're my favorite. I got a rock. I love it. Well, you find yourself at customer service and you want to return an item and they're giving you a bad time, touch your rock. Don't throw the rock. That's good. But you can pull out that master negotiator, you know, and take charge of that situation. So anytime you're feeling uncomfortable, cop pulls you over. Don't tap into your inner Cheech and Chong. No, then you can program another one. We just, yeah. Yeah, you should always have one. But it won't work for anyone else. So if someone takes it from you because it's so awesome, it's not going to work for them. They have to program. Yeah, they have to program their own. It's your DNA. It's programmed for you. Okay. Let's see. Back up here. Okay, so these are 3 tools, 3 techniques from the Spiritual Coach Certification course through St. Paul's. And I thought that would be the best thing I could do is give you some things. You don't have to spend years in therapy to pick these things up. You don't have to go do any private coaching with me or anyone else. You have them, and all of these tools, you can use them yourself. So you're totally empowered to do that. My gift to you. And if you want to get a hold of me, you can find me at davidmmasters.com. And that's it. Thank you. You guys did great.